Hello, welcome back. I'm Tanya from Tanya's Witchy Kitchen, and how are you doing today? I got some massive sunlight coming through my windows, which is awesome. Love sunshine, right? So I realized something. You know, on Facebook, and you see this thing, and it says like this post, and it'll say, it asks a question, and what's the last picture you took on your, and then you're supposed to post it. Well, I never post it, but I always go back and look at it. And I've realized something. I have to go back pretty far to actually get a picture of a person. It is just so easy to screenshot information that I want to save and look back on that I have like a ton of things, of recipes and information and maybe a quote here and there. And I'm just like, this is awful. This is terrible. Like, this is why my storage space is I'm always trying to clean up my phone. But I realized, like, I'm saving all this stuff that, what are the odds I'm going to get back to it, you know? So I was trying to, I have this baby notebook. It's like a $2 notebook you buy at Walmart, like the 5-star, right? And it's really thick. It's about an inch thick, but it's just a baby notebook. So I've been trying to write these things down in there. So I have them, but they're not taking up space in my phone, because I'm like, that should be reserved for, family pictures and cool things and goofy things the grandkids are doing or whatever, rodeo rides. Not, how to make salad dressing. I'm sure I could Google it. Ugh, so bad. Do you do that? What's the last picture you took on your phone? But anyway, today we are going to start a new series, and it's rebatching soap. What do you do with old soap? Well, the obvious answer is you can, if you're a big soap maker, you can donate your soap shreds, your bad batches, your whatever. I think the only drawback is if it's lye heavy, they don't want it. But you can fix that. If it's lye heavy, you just add more oil. I don't know if we're doing one of those because most of my batches don't end up lye heavy. So I think Mrs. Soap and Clay has a video on that. But you can basically, if it's lye heavy, you can basically put it back in the crock pot, and like if you screwed up the recipe, redo your recipe and add more oil and just cook it up. But I'm probably not going to do one, but that's what we're doing. We're rebatching soap. So soaps that didn't retain their scent. Soaps that just haven't sold, and I want to rebatch them. Other things you can do with soap. I have a really cool one. I'm not sure where we're starting with this. Probably with that one, just to get your attention. 3 things. Be kind, be forgiving, and be you. So let's go check out the first set of Rebatching My Soap series. Sorry about the glare. One thing before you rebatch is make dang sure you know what the soap was and the ingredients in it, so you can label it correctly down the road. This is one of my favorite things to do with soap shreds. This is a soap that was with Fuller's Earth and buttermilk, and the scent just totally died, like absolutely died. So I shredded it up, and make sure you weigh it. Okay, I think this is like 4 ounces of shreds. I added 2 tablespoons of distilled water, just because I didn't want to add the more super fat. If I added oil, it would super fat it. Water is just, that's our water, and then it has to, get rid of the water. But it's doing that as I cook it down. Now, rebatching takes time. Do it on a day where you have time, because it can take a couple hours. You don't want to scorch the soap, so I always do this on low heat. And you could put it in your oven, in like even that bowl right there, for my crock pot, put it in the oven at 200 degrees and let it melt. But it does take time. And it does depend on how fresh the soap is and how old the soap is, you know, all these things. So basically what we're doing is we're making a melt and pour out of the soap. And to do that, we add solvents. So there's 3 solvents we add. We add glycerin, we add an alcohol like Everclear or vodka does work, or isopropyl alcohol, but do a higher, like 90%, and then a sugar syrup. So I heat my glycerin up and then I add my alcohol. And sometimes I don't even do that. Sometimes I do the sugar syrup first. I have found it doesn't matter. But as you can see, it's pretty much mostly all melted down. And I'm going to add this, which is heated about 150 degrees. And I'm going to let it break apart the molecules, for lack of a better description. As you can see, it is hot. My crock pot is hot, but it is not on high heat. It is on the low heat. And just gonna let it break up the chunks and let it cook up. I'm gonna go take my sugar and I'm going to add a ratio of 2 to 1. Sugar, no, sweetie. Sugar to water, okay? So if that, and okay, and all my solvents, so you could go 50%. So if it was 4 ounces of soap shreds, 50% would be 2 ounces of glycerin, 2 ounces of alcohol, and 2 ounces of sugar with 1 ounce of water. And you want to be very careful when you heat that up to dissolve the sugar, okay? I have found 40% is my perfect number. 50% is just too soft of a soap. 40% of solvents is a perfect number. So see, just as I was heating this up, the sugar syrup, that's how much it has already dispersed and dissolved. So once I add all the solvents to my solution, my soap, we then go to just cooking it a half an hour, 15 minutes to a half hour, just to make sure it's all dispersed. If you get bubbles on top, you can spray it with isopropyl alcohol, just like you do regular melt and pour. So here we are at the end. Yep, everything's liquefied. Well, okay, not totally. This batch, it was, I was like, I don't care. This was a 50% solvent ratio on this one. Now, fragrance usage rates are different with rebatched soap. If you have a manufacturer that lists the rebatched soap, go with that usage rate. Otherwise, because it's already had fragrance in it, you know, you don't want to overload it, even though there is no scent to these whatsoever. I don't know where it went. Maybe it's just a bad scent. But so I add just a little bit of fragrance oil, and what are we doing? We are making this one. Oh, that's right, strawberry and watermelon. And this is a good way, if you're making small batches like this, to use up fragrance oils, because it does not take a lot of fragrance to scent these. So that it's just basically the fragrance oil and some mica, and then I'm going to add my melt and pour to that and mix it up. Now my molds are plastic. They're not silicone for this. See, that I should have cooked it longer to get those chunks out, but it's okay. My molds are plastic, so I have to have them below, I think it's 136 degrees. Yeah. So, yeah, they're at 160. So I have to let these cool. So just basically I mix them off and on, you know, every little bit until they reach below 136 degrees, so I can pour them in my plastic molds. Now, if you have silicone molds, you and I both know it doesn't matter, right? This would be perfect. They would fit just fine. But we're making dragon eggs. Yeah, I made dragon eggs for Valentine's, and they're so cute. And they're so fun. And these actually turned out really pretty. I actually like them better than the other ones I made at Christmas time with the 3 tricolors. Even though those were fun, I just think these were a lot prettier. So you see, I'm trying to get that down to 136 because I am not pouring and ruining my mold over being impatient. It's just not worth the effort. There are my dragons in my eggs, and come on, 136. Come on. See, you can see it kind of, it's hovering in there. It's trying to cool itself down, but it's still hovering. So, other things to rebatch, like notes to rebatch. I was trying to find my notes, and my grandchild was in here and walked off with them. But if it's lye heavy, or you made a cleansing bar out of coconut and olive and palm, right? And you did a 1%, and you decided no, you wanted a body bar. Maybe you're just a do-it-yourselfer, and you wanted a body bar, and you want to change that soap. All you have to do is, put your ratios in. So it's a 4-ounce bar. Do you want a 5% super fat? Multiply it by 5% and melt it down and add that amount of oil, and you'll super fat that bar, and you'll have a body bar. If you want to scent it. You can do that, even if it's 100% coconut oil. I just don't see it's drying. People say it's drying. Who says it's drying? Coconut is not drying. 100% coconut bar. I have that. I've made kitchen soap with 100% coconut oil. It is not drying to your skin. So I freeze the mold, and I freeze the mold at least an hour, okay? Like solidly freeze that thing. And then I take the corner and I break the airlock there, okay? So I can see it. And you'll see, it's already pulling away, because some people really complain about these. And you just push, and if you watch, it just pops right out of the mold. I had no problem with it. Just make sure you freeze it long enough, like at least an hour, not a half hour, at least an hour. These are blue. They're supposed to be blue, but because of the color of the soap, here's another tip for you. Depending on the color your soap is, your original soap, because mine was that it had Fuller's Earth, which is yellow, okay? It does change your colors. So you kind of want to play off of that, which is why I did the yellow and the red and the green, which was fine, but this one kind of turned more of a greenish color in the end, but the blues were really pretty. And then I added extra mica and popped it down. I'm not sure if I show you that, but so then I have this beautiful blue mica on the bottom, and then it's kind of this greenish blue around the egg. It's really kind of neat. But this is basically the same thing. Fragrance oil, mica, mixing it to 160 degrees, but you can see already, do you see how that is just kind of changing? It's more of a greenish color. Yeah. And then we get down to our perfect temperature, and we pour over the little dragons. Just pour it right in. It's so nice. It's a really nice ratio. I like the ratio. I don't know if other people do. I think you can do like 100% of solvents, but I don't like doing 100% solvents. Even 50%. I usually not doing this. Oh, this is where see, so I just mixed a little bit of the solution with a huge amount of mica, and then I'm going to pop it through so it goes to the bottom. I guess I could have done it first, but it really turned out really pretty. It made the blue come through on the bottom, so really kind of a little tip there, and it filled up the eggs a little better. But yeah, oh, my ratios for this, 40% was my favorite with the glycerin, the alcohol, and the sugar syrup. However, if I was making melt and pour, just my traditional transparent soap, I usually do 25% of the solvents right away and add the rest as I go, depending on what I am using it for. just in case you care. And here are the yellow ones. These were really pretty also. Like I said, some of them I used up fragrance oils that were just, you have that little bit of left. And other ones, I think the yellow is scented as the 70s soap. Just because I know that my grandson loves that fragrance oil, and they were getting dragon eggs for Valentine's Day. Yep. What better gift to give your kids than soap and bath bombs? That's what my kids got. Yep. It was easy, but I told them they could swap out their soap if they wanted to, but it had to be with something they don't normally pick. Otherwise, they just seriously use the same soap over and over. And I'm like, I have tons of soap and it's always the same scent. But so we get down to the perfect number for this mold, which is 136 degrees Fahrenheit, and pour them in. And yeah, you would not think this was a solid bar soap, would you? No. Now, one thing people say is you can take a solid bar, grate it up, and mix it with water, and you'll have foaming soap. But it is made with sodium hydroxide, so it will eventually kind of start setting up and getting solid. Yeah. But that is our first set of rebatch soap. And what do you think of that? Who would have thought that one solid soap bar would make these beautiful glycerin transparent melt and pour eggs? And as always, I hope you had a good time. Thank you for dropping by, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.